Hey, good day to you again, YouTubers. We're back on our bookcase project, and what we're going to do now is I have a top piece that goes right across the top underneath the oh yeah, that describes it real good. Let's try that again, okay? We have the top shelf, and underneath that top shelf, let's call this the top shelf laid this way, underneath that we have a face frame going this way, alright? And then at the bottom, the same thing, we have the bottom shelf, and then we'll have another face frame underneath that that will be relieved. Both of them will be relieved with a pattern to give it a little more detail so everything's not just plain and square. Now, these two pieces are 33 1/8, and I'm not going to bore you with all the figures. I doubt any of you are trying to exactly duplicate this, but trust me that this is 33 1/8 wide. So I need to find the middle. Half of 33 would be 16 1/2 and 1/8. I'm going to split that, and that's going to make that 16 9/16. And I want to make them both exactly the same. They're both exactly the same length. I'm going to take my speed square, and hope you can see this. I'm going to mark the middle very lightly with a pencil mark. I hope you can see that too. And the purpose for that is I'm going to work from the middle, because I've made these a little bit longer than what they need to be so that I can sand them extra on the ends. I told you in one of my last videos that there are some techniques to sanding that I wanted to show you that will help make your project come out just a little bit nicer. And one of them is on a cabinet like this, where you're going to have a piece of end grain, and when you're looking at a piece of wood, this is what's called the end grain. This is your face, and this is the end grain. And this is normally where you're cutting it, but even when you're cutting along this edge, ripping, this would be cross-cutting. When you're cross-cut, you have not only a little bit of your saw marks, but you also have the end grain, which is not as smooth as the face of the piece of wood. And so to get that perfectly smooth, you need to sand it a little bit more than you do this. This is already plain. And to get this really smooth and to take the stain and the finish well, you need to sand it well. So I leave a little bit more than, I leave about 1/8 of an inch extra so that I can belt sand that down. And when it is all said and done, let me demonstrate this a little bit for you. These two pieces here that we're working on are going to sit on top of our upright side face frames, and I'm going to leave it sticking out just a little bit, like a 1/16 of an inch on either side, so that I can sand that off and make it end up making it flush with this. So you'll see what I mean as we go along. So now what we want to do is we want to lay out our curves on here that are to duplicate what is in the original.